Star Nations Radio Network, our live stream videos that are coming to you through BeLive and Facebook. Tonight's session, I guess, is about reclaiming unconditional love. And maybe that seems difficult in a time like we're having at the moment. But one of the best things to help us feel calm, grounded, and safe is to be in a place of unconditional love with ourselves, especially. And that way we can open our hearts in empathy to share with other people. So that's what today's Chakra Sessions is all about. And I see we have a few people in the house. Christine is with us. Hi, Christine. Welcome to Chakra Sessions. And Andrew, hello. How are you doing this evening? Good to have you here, sweetie. The thing that's been coming in, as most of you know, I do a lot of channel writing and with the Ancient One. And so we've been having a lot of conversations, and unconditional love has been coming in a lot. So if you think this is a topic or a show that might appeal to other people, or it might help some other people with their own work and their own healing, if you wouldn't mind liking and sharing the broadcast, sending it out there into Facebook land. You can send it through Messenger or onto your page, however that works for you. But I think of it as our way of being in service, because we never know who might need it. We barely know when we need it, right? So that would be great, and I'd appreciate it. Hi, Aneshi. Woohoo! Glad to have you here. I figure you'll be hopping out maybe a little bit, because Neshi has her show with Carl and Ortrun Franklin right after this, Living in Two Worlds. So I will be ending just a couple minutes before 8 o'clock. So we make sure that those of us who want to go over and catch their show, we can, because I think they have a lot to offer in their look at things through the mystery school. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Ellen, hello, welcome. Glad to have you. And Sandy, hi, sweetie. Good to have you here. And Cindy, thank you for sharing. That is great. We really appreciate that. And Martina, I'm not doing cards today, sweetheart. I only do cards on Wednesdays. Otherwise, I would be totally depleted, I think. Though my team's got a plan coming up, and I'll share that with you guys after. And Neshi is sending lots of love. And hi, Martina. Glad to have you, sweetie. So we are talking about reclaiming unconditional love. Small topic, I guess. But what has been coming through loud and clear is that fear is what feeds the viruses that are going around. And when we get caught up in fear, we start to attract things to be fearful of. And so how do we combat that? It's when we tap into our high heart, if we tap into unconditional love, if we tap into the heart of our higher self, and we send love and compassion and empathy to everyone in fear, including ourselves, because we get caught in it. You don't even realize you get caught in it. And next thing you know, you're having energy waves that are going through you, especially as an empath. We are feeling our feels and everybody else's feels around us. And sometimes when we don't have good boundaries, or even when we do, it leaks in and we don't realize we got saturated. So the best way for us to, really stay healthy is to be calling in as much love energy in as we can. And we do that by being grounded and being centered, but we do it by reclaiming the concept, the idea, the thought behind unconditional love. Boy, big one. Oh, Martina, don't worry about the forgetting about the cards. Me having them back to back these days instead of in the app, before it was easy to tell my two shows apart. When I was in the afternoon, I was doing a teaching session. And when I was in the evening, I was doing cards. And right now, I'm doing both in the evening. So it's taking a lot for both of us to get acclimated. My team's got their own plan. You know how that goes. Thank you for liking and sharing, Sandy. I appreciate that. And Martina saying that she needs this. Oh gosh, don't we all? And so one of the things that has been really evident for me is when, the righteous anger comes in, that disbelief of like, what the heck is going on out there on the planet? How do we flip that into love and empathy? And it comes when we hold the unconditional love. And so one of the things that the Ancient One has talked about through me in my writings is that, we all are here to work through specific wounds, right? And those core wounds are basically our life school, right? And so we have wounds that we are meant to have as our challenge, and we're meant to overcome them. And we have a few, but we might have a couple big theme ones, right? And one of the themes that we have right now for humanity is this sense of separation, that we are all different rather than we are all the same. And we're meant to shift that consciousness as part of the Earth's evolution at this moment, as part of humanity's evolution of this moment. And the way we do that is we remember how to love ourselves. And we remember that when we love ourselves, we love everyone around us. And sometimes it's best for us to work on loving others because it's hard to remember how to love ourselves and vice versa. So you work on it from both directions, and all of that is calling in unconditional love. And that's calling in the divine energy, where our version of the divine is that the divine holds unconditional love for each and every one of us. That there's no, betters or worse thans. There's no rights and there's no wrongs. It's a non-judgmental energy that the divine is meant to hold at this point in time. Now, this is my personal truth. This is what comes through for me. This does not have to be your truth. But unconditional love heals a lot of wounds. And that's what all of masters have been teaching, right? Through all the ages, whether it's Buddha or Jesus or Krishna, it's all about love and loving other people as you want to be loved yourself, right? And that's unconditional. That means that you're loved for who you are, and what you do is just what you do. It's how you play scientist in this earth school. You figure things out sometimes by doing it the right way or the hard way or the easy way, right? That's how we learn. That's how we grow. We go, oh, that's what happens when you do this. And when we think of it that way, we're just children experimenting. And do we want to parent our inner child by judging them and telling them they're wrong all the time? Or do we want to love them anyways, no matter what? So that's the energy that we want to call in right now. And that is how this is going down. So hi, Carol. Nice to have you. I'm glad you're here. So Kimberly's saying, hi, everyone. We just did AA applause for all NHS staff tonight. So emotional. Oh, nice. I'm glad you shared that. And shared out with love. Thank you, sweetheart. Glad you could join us. So how do we reclaim it? What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? How do you think that, or how do you feel you can call in some more unconditional love for yourself? Sometimes we can think about how to share it with others, but it all starts with ourselves. So for me, I have been, in this difficult time, I've been very busy working because I'm here to support the spiritual leaders and the light workers and, really anybody who wants to reach out and is saying, hey, I'm having a hard time. Can you help me? That's my job, right? And so in that space, letting people say their fears, be able to say what's going on and what's moved through their energy body and what beliefs are trying to change and what thoughts are trying to move and what feelings are getting pulled up because of all of the energy around us right now. Because we're in a big cooking pot of change. And we all know it in our own way. And so how do you work on bringing in unconditional love? Thank you for sharing, Deborah. Glad to have you here. Carol started. I love it. Carol says, I always go back to gratitude. Start making a list every day. Because gratitude opens your heart. And when we're grateful for everything that we have, and everything that brings beauty and joy into our lives, then we have even more to be grateful for. Today, one of the things, I'm grateful that my spiritual team moved me to the ocean. I need to have a chat with them about moving during the pandemic, but, they got me here because they knew this was my sacred place and my healing place. But I was able to go to, drive over to the ocean and just allow that saltwater air to wash over me. I didn't get out of my car because there were a number of people who were out and about. And I wasn't sure that I could maintain the distance easily. But that's not what I needed. And one of the interesting things is I have a very cute car. I have a fuchsia pink Volkswagen Bug. And the amount of people who stopped and waved and smiled and said they loved my car. They loved the color, and I was bringing joy just by having driven my car somewhere where people were walking. They were trying to get out and get some fresh air. And yeah, it was like, oh, I was really grateful for having a way to bring joy in that moment, because there were a lot of people who had a lot of anxious energy that were trying to release it in that space, doing their best to stay apart. And at least I'm very grateful that that beach area is still open because many of them have closed. So how do you do that? And Bobby, hi. And she's trying to be grateful in the moment. Now you are this really lovely spark of light. And so Bobby has been doing a lot of work on her heart energy. And, some of you know that, some of you don't. But I'm just going to share she's working on her heart. And so knowing that somebody who's doing that work and healing their heart on many different layers, gratitude is one of the fastest and easiest ways to call that in. So I'm so happy that you are working on being grateful, because I know you are fantastic at that. And Deborah's saying, I started a gratitude list yesterday and it's very long. From big things to even shoes on my feet, right? I was really grateful yesterday for having I have these slipper boots that I got back in the fall, because I just wanted something to throw on my feet when I went out to check the mail. But that, weren't like slip-ons. So they come on like a full shoe. And so yesterday, being able to put that on and run out to the mailbox and put some mail in and take some mail out, and waving to the neighbor doggies and then coming back inside, I was really grateful that I didn't have to go through all the tediousness, right, of putting on your shoes and tying them and all that. So that's how that goes. Kimberly says, great cars, Volkswagen, same as mine. Yes. I've had Volkswagens many, many times through the years. And I always wanted to have my own VW Bug. And as a child, I drew one with crayon that was purple and pink mixed together. A couple of years ago, I just started asking for my car to appear. And we drove by the VW dealership, and there were 3 of them. There were 2 that had the hardback and 1 with a convertible, because my team wasn't sure what I wanted. So it sent me 3 to choose from. And they only made 500 in the entire country. So why 3 ended up at my little hometown dealership was funny. But there you have it. And I could tell the vibration, which one was mine right away. And other people did too, which was interesting. They would drive by and say, hey, that's your car. It's the one on the right. It's like, yeah, it is. So in the reclaiming the unconditional love, gratitude is one of the biggest things to bring in, right? But there's 2 others, my team talks about grace a lot as well. And how I feel grace as connected to unconditional love is when we walk our life with intention. So it's like we're walking our life causing the least amount of harm. Does that make sense? We're thoughtful of other people's feelings, of what they're going through. And we are compassionate. We have a big ear for listening. And when we listen, we actually hear. So we can reflect back what they're feeling so that they feel seen and heard. And that takes a lot of grace to do. And in that place, when we're doing that, when we're living our life with intention and we're making our choices from our heart and we're not reacting to the energy around us, then we start to remind other people what unconditional love could look like if we all shared that. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Nice to have you and Julia. Big hugs is always filled with unconditional love, right? And so we all need that. So when we're walking our life in grace, that's when we're the beacon. We're the beacon of light, of hope, of inspiration for ourselves and for other people. And we're not judging others for the reactions they may be having, because we're all human And it happens to all of us at some point in time, and even those of us who are spiritual teachers, when we are exhausted, or we're not feeling well, or we haven't taken care of ourselves, and gotten ourselves run down, then we can have those moments too where we react. And it will surprise us often because we don't do it as much as we used to, but we all grew through that. And so, right now there's a lot of people with a lot of fear energy, the panic, that the pandemic, I think it's interesting, the pandemic, if you take the dem, you've got pan and they got the ick. Ding. They just need to create a bigger version of panic. And so in that space, some old fears are getting activated. They're reacting to what's going on around, and some survival energy has gotten triggered. And if it was a child being fearful, wouldn't you reach over, comfort them, give them a hug, pick them up, hold them, right? And the interesting thing about what's going on right now is we can't hug our friend, or rub their back. We have to do it energetically, So imagine if we just sent hugs out to people like Sarah or Jackie, who are needing it. Because right now, a lot of people are, we're touch deprived as a society anyways. And we've created a situation with even more deprivation. And there's a reason for that, because we need to find the love inside of us to comfort our own selves, and then send energetic comfort out to others. And that happens when we're holding that energy of grace. And grace is also about being thoughtful. Sending a note to somebody, just saying, hey, thinking of you, hope all is well, reach out if you need me, that kind of thing. Oh, nice. So, of course, Bobby has this. My brother always said, if you see someone without a smile, give them yours. Boy, what a difference energy that brings. Yes, right? It does, right? Because, there are people out there who are having trouble smiling right now. And so how do we get joy back there, And some of the unconditional love is about laughter. Tune out from all the things that are trying to scare and frighten and, the boogeyman. And start finding the stuff that makes you laugh, I've been doing some of the Hallmark Channel stuff. I found Golden Girls. I don't know. I forgot how funny that show is, from the, the 80s, but there's a lot of relevant stuff in there too. But, spiritual teacher that I know, she's like, when in doubt, binge watch some comedy shows, on Netflix, and let yourself just laugh until you've released all the worry you've held on to. And Carol saying, Bobby, it certainly does. Yeah, Carol's a big smile giver. I can attest to that one. So first we have gratitude, and then we have grace, walking our life in as much grace as we can. And yes, with a big smile on our face as we do it. And then another one of the things, Deborah, yes, Lucille Ball, right? Her and, oh my goodness, Vicky, what's her name? Her sidekick there, that whole crew, Carol Burnett, that's it, Carol Burnett and all of them too. Oh my goodness, they could get you in stitches. And the the crew from, what was the one that Goldie Hawn was on from the 60s that I'm seeing she was one of the dancers and they would say all the stuff like, phew. Somebody will remember it. It's another good show that can help us laugh and smile. Some of that old comedy, that was just right there, right in front of us. And laughing. Thank you. Yes. I mean, it's even got laugh in the title. So what about laughing? And for you young ones who are out there and who haven't watched it, go look for it. It's hysterical. There's a lot of commentary, but it's like having us laugh at the situation rather than lamenting in it. And so the other thing that my team has been talking about is guidance. Are you asking for it? Are you asking and connecting to your own spiritual team? Are you asking your angels, your guides, your ancestors, any divine energy that you connect to? Are you asking for strength? Are you asking for resilience? Are you asking for love so that you can fill up with it, so you can share it with others? Because lots of times we're not asking. We're using our logic brain trying to figure things out. And while that can be helpful, when we use only our logic brain, we're only tapping into information that we already know. When we use our intuition, when we ask our spiritual teams for guidance, for direction and signs, then we are calling in energy greater than our personal memory. And don't you want to tap into the biggest computer you can? Our logic brain is just the computer of what we've put in it. But when we tap into intuition, we're tapping into all the data from human consciousness. And when we call in our spiritual teams, we're calling in all the data from all of creation. A lot more possibilities there than the few that our brain actually knows about, right? And so are you asking for guidance in this time? But, sometimes we think, oh, I shouldn't ask for help because there's people who are praying and they're needing. Everybody has a spiritual team. They have a large spiritual team. They've got their own mini army that's helping them. You're not taking away from somebody else by asking, but you can't receive help without asking. It's that simple. Ask and you shall receive. But if you don't ask, you won't receive. And we don't have to wait until it's an emergency to ask. We can ask every day to be guided, and we can be guided to walk our life in grace. And we can ask to be reminded to fill our heart with gratitude. And we can ask to access unconditional love even when we're feeling shaky inside ourselves, right? And so that's remembering that, gratitude, grace, guidance. Notice the G's. And then the last one is that, and it's not the last one of everything, it's just the last one that my team wanted me to talk about today, is the gifts. And being grateful for the gifts that you're receiving, right? But there are times when we are the gift. Our smile is the gift. Our listening is the gift. Our presence is the gift. Even if it's on, social media, right? Or maybe we're going to video chat with our friends. I've been doing face-to-face chatting with people through the Messenger video and Zoom and Skype and all these ways that we have to connect so that we don't feel so isolated. We feel connected, right? And again, the gift is being seen and being heard. And when we give that gift to others, we're giving it to ourselves too. So how can you share your gifts? And some of it is we've all got our own special gift. So how are you sharing it? If you're a singer, are you singing? And if you're singing, are you willing to share it? Put that song out there on there's some musicians out there. Put your music out there because we need it. We're not going to judge it. We're just going to be grateful for it. I know the magnificent Andrew, I hope he's still with us. He put a couple songs out not that long ago, and he put himself out there, and it filled me with joy to hear his creation, his interpretation. It was his soul expressing itself. And we all have ways to do that. You know, if you're an artist, are you sharing your paintings with other people so that they can see the beauty? Because I know our beautiful Christine does that. And some people make jewelry and then you're craving wanting to wear it, right? I have been having all of this energy around my healing blends, my oils. And, this one is the Transcendental Heart. It accesses the energy that we are tapping into right now and asking to stay wide open. And it's a gift I have that I receive the recipe from the divine. And it's like, here, there's someone who needs this. And so as part of that, it's time for me to share them in a bigger way. And so you'll see that I'm trying to figure out the technology around that. But I'm working on it. But in that space, you're going to see that in the next week. You're going to see more of that available because I want to help the many, not the few. Does that make sense? So Robin's saying, thank you for all of this. And she's saying, holy geez. I know, right? It was really interesting because then it's like, have I tapped into my 4Gs today? Isn't that funny, that 4G network, that 5G network? And you could go, okay, so if you want to be 5G, gratitude, grace, guidance, gifts, God, goddess, right? Or you can just be 4G. That is just really, really helpful. And Carol's saying, I'm noticing how many musicians are posting free concerts from their living rooms. Yes. How many museums are creating virtual tours for people who can't get out so they can share and be part of that? That is huge. But we all have a gift that we have. So very nice. And Cindy's saying thank you. And Deborah, I was checking out your blends today. I'm curious and want to learn more about them. Yeah, I think there's going to be a little Facebook thing about that and how they came to being. I have a recipe book that I've been working on and getting it ready for Star Nations to publish, where they're channeled recipes and that came through in healing sessions with various clients. And, I'm realizing, I have a boosting immune support blend that came through, and a a while ago, and one that works on anxiety and overwhelm. And what do we need right now? And unconditional love, right? And maybe these are actually tools to help people. That's what they're meant to be, is tools to help people remember how to activate that energy in them. It's, the oil doesn't do it for you. The oil is giving you training wheels energetically, how to handle and manage and bring your energies back into balance. So that's very cool. Carol said I made her a blend called Breathe that she still has. Nice. And Cindy saying, you helped me get off opioids with your oils. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's one of those things. So it's time for me to share that gift of mine, and some of my others. But, I share some of them with you. Time to put more of them out there. So my gift tonight is we're going to do a meditation on calling back in our unconditional love. And part of that is accessing our high heart. We've done a version of this before, but part of doing this tonight is that anytime you are having difficulty in the next few weeks or few months of this uncertainty, you can go back to this. It will be on the Chakra Sessions page. You can go back and listen to this meditation. Use it as often as you need to. It is a tool for you to help you get centered when you get a little off balance. And if you know other people who get in that place of getting off balance, you can share this gift with them too by directing them to this. So thank you for being here, and let's get this going. Let's receive this awesome gift. All right. So let's take a couple of really deep breaths. And one more really big one. Breathe in. Blow out. And we're going to call in the divine energy, however you perceive that, to connect to us and through us, and infinite love and infinite light, surrounding and protecting us in a bubble, creating a shield of protection for us to feel safe and calm, to receive this healing in this sacred space. And as always, we set the intention that all healing work to be done here is for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves. And we welcome in our spiritual teams, our angels, our guides, our ancestors, our animals, our star beings, the ascended masters, gods and goddesses, all divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment. And we ask for our energy to be grounded and centered, connected to not only the center of the earth plane, but grounded in creation itself. As above, so below. Anchored through our heart and through each and every one of our energy centers, the chakras, the secondary and tertiary chakras as well. Grounded in each dimension, vibration, and frequency that we are able to inhabit. And beginning at our crown chakra, making room to open and expand our connection to our higher self, to our teams, and to the divine. Releasing any doubt and worry that we've held here, any swirling thoughts, beliefs, or ideas that have made it difficult for us to feel who we truly are. Infinitely worthy of receiving this healing, this love and acceptance of who we are in this moment right now, and in every moment that we have ever been in or will be in. And opening up our throat to our authentic truth and self-expression, so that love may be expressed through us in creative new ways, sharing our gifts, our grace, and our guidance, and even our gratitude. Once again, releasing the stress, the burdens, and the responsibilities and obligations that we've been carrying on our shoulders for ourselves, for humanity. And in this moment, just allowing all of that to melt away so we can simply remember the sensation of our soul unencumbered. Opening our heart, our lungs, allowing the breath to come in, boosting our immunity, releasing any energy that has our inner child frightened, worried, or scared. Filling the inner child with love, acceptance, and joy, so we may feel that emanating from within. And dropping all the energy that we may have picked up from others through our heart, through our shoulders, through our belly, our legs, our hips. Asking that all the energy be transmuted back to original creation energy. Quieting and calming any fears that we may have, worries, even the righteous anger that comes up to call for change. Honoring the emotion and transmuting it back to love. Clearing the energy that we have in connection with other people, releasing judgment and resentment. So that we can call in the energy of harmony once more within us and around us. calming the emotional waters so that we can have our feelings in balance and in their fullness without bringing in the energy of overwhelm. And opening and expanding our rootedness with the earth plane, bringing balance and stability back into our lives, into our family, into our survival, into our home, our finances, and our sense of well-being. And we invite our higher self to join us more fully in connection this evening. And we invite our high heart to center within our sternum in that beautiful pink energy that it holds. And welcoming the energy to connect to our heart chakra, and our physical heart, all in one, creating the Holy Trinity within. Creating oneness and unity within our own selves and our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, and spiritual body, and even ourself as divine being. Feeling the love and support of the divine as it flows to us and through us, radiating outward like a beacon of light and hope for others and for ourselves. And setting the intention of having the ability to reclaim this love whenever we need it. And asking it to be active for as long as we are able to hold it. Filling our spirit, our soul with peace and calm and serenity that comes when we are love and we share love with others. And now holding on to this energetic memory to connect to whenever you need it. Taking a moment of gratitude for your spiritual team, being here, guiding you. And gratitude of the community that has come together to share love in this moment. And now I invite you to gently dissolve your meditation. Come back to the present moment, ground your energy. Welcome back. So thank you. I'm very grateful for you being here, sharing this, and allowing me to share my gift to heal the healers. That is a big piece for me. So, one of the things that's coming up in April, I will be doing a class here on Star Nations. It's part of a 4-part series, 2 that have already been recorded. The first 2 with Maureen Mann and Ed Langen. And each class is about manifestation in a different perspective, a different intention. And each have had nuggets that are so important about how we can recreate or co-create a new version of life as we know it, right? Because we are in the middle of this huge collapse. And in the collapse, we can focus on the ashes, or we can get up and build again, something newer, brighter, better. And that happens when we learn fuller ways to manifest. And so my class is about multidimensional manifesting. So not just in the 3rd dimension, because we've moved beyond that in our skill set and our abilities. And as well as your inner child. Because I've said this many times, the inner child holds the magic wand for creation within you. And that's something I've been seeing a number of things is creating some inner child wands for people, because that would be fun. I haven't made wands in a little while, so I've been seeing quite a bit of that. So maybe it's time. And, that's something that's coming up tonight, right after my show at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, is Living in Two Worlds with Carl, Ortrun, Franklin, and Neshi. So, yep, Neshi's saying it. Got to run and be in the studio for Living in Two Worlds. It starts at the top of the hour. And I'm looking forward to that because they always have great information. And Carol's saying, can't wait for the 3rd workshop. And may I say you look quite lovely tonight. Oh, thanks. Maine becomes you. Yeah, it is my happy place. Yeah, it's always been my happy place. And the shift, that's going on in the planet, I felt the shift coming back in October, big time. And actually my husband and I have been talking about relocating to Maine for about 1.5 years now. We were going to do it when we retired, and it just came to us like, why wait? Our kids are all grown, and we don't have to retire to live our lives, right? We don't have to wait till it's ending to begin. So that's what we decided. So if you want to find out more about my oil blends, you can go to trinityhealingsanctuaries.com, or you can message me right here through Chakra Sessions or through Messenger if you're a friend of mine. And even if you're not a friend of mine, you can send it through. I get those anyways. So with that, you guys, I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. I will see you here next week for Soul Connections on Wednesday evening from 7 o'clock onward. That's when we do healing for our soul. And I give guided messages through card readings for everyone who's present and would like a reading. And then Thursdays, we'll be back for Chakra Sessions next week. And we'll see what my team has in store for us then. But I know that you guys are here helping me do my personal mission, which is to heal the healers. So thank you for that. And with that, have a great night, and I'll see you next time.